who asked Muhammad Ali to retire, he said an interesting thing. He said, yes, I think Ali has retired, but he admitted that Muhammad Ali may have financial problems, and he indicated that Ali had spent the Ken Norton purse before he even received it. Now, I want to show you some highlights from the 15th round in just a moment. But first, how about the New England Patriots? Would you believe it? 48-17, the Patriots shoot down the Oakland Raiders. They have now beaten Miami, Pittsburgh, Oakland, 3 weekends in a row. Andy Johnson for a touchdown. Patriots score right away. Steve Grogan, what a day he had. Darryl Stingley on the receiving end. Patriots go up by a score of 14-0. Raiders came back at this moment, and it was Kenny Stabler going to you-know-who, Freddie Bolitnikoff, Mr. Moves, 14-7 after the extra point. Then it was the Steve Grogan show. Marlon Briscoe, number 88. Marlon's played for everyone. Grogan back to Stingley this time. Grogan accumulated 221 yards passing and rushing. Look at this. When he wasn't passing for touchdowns, 3, he ran for 2 more. And we'll show you another one. He rushed for 56 yards, passed for 165 yards. He just busts right into the end zone. He did everything all game long for them. And finally, Jess Phillips, who's been with Cincinnati, New England, and Oakland, broke free and got in again, 48-17. Patriots a winner. Now let's quickly update you on all the action. Some of the games still in progress right now. Denver leading San Diego 10-0. The Jets in San Francisco scoreless. They're at the half. Miami, the game you're watching, leads Los Angeles at the half. Dallas had to come back. They now lead Seattle 14-13. Houston big right now over New Orleans 31-19. Now all finals. Baltimore 42, Tampa Bay 17. Green Bay wins its first game for Bart Starr 24-14 over Detroit. St. Louis dumps the Giants 27-21. Giants still winless. There's the score again. 48-17. New England goes to Detroit next week. Now, Buffalo got 50 points and 130 yards out of O.J. Simpson. They rout Kansas City. 45 for Cincinnati, 4 touchdown passes for Kenny Anderson, 45-24. Chicago beats Washington 33-7. You all come to the Super Bowl, Chicago and New England this year. And Philadelphia beats Atlanta by a score of 14-13. Charlie Smith with 4:21 caught the winning touchdown pass from Mike Barilla. As you can imagine, the world of boxing was thrown into a turmoil this week with that announcement by Muhammad Ali in Istanbul, Turkey, that he had retired, particularly in the heavyweight division. So we have invited the 2 most successful fight promoters in the world into our studios today. On my right-hand side, Bob Arum, and over here on my left is Don King. And Don, the first question everyone wants answered is whether or not Ali is sincere. Is he finished as a fighter?
Well, first you must understand Muhammad Ali. I think Muhammad Ali is a unique and extraordinary type of individual. And every time that he says something, he really means what he says, you know. So it's not like he's unstable or that his credibility is. He's the kind of artist that performs for the people. He's a people's-like champion. And at the time that he said that, I'm certain that he really meant that he's going to retire.
Bob, do you agree with that? Do you think that Muhammad Ali meant it when he said it?
Well, I sure agree with that statement. Now, but the ultimate question is, will Muhammad Ali retire? And nobody really knows. He's been the greatest champion in the history of boxing. A lot of people hope that he doesn't retire. If he wants to retire, obviously it's his decision. He's given the sport everything he has. But I'm inclined to believe that ultimately Muhammad Ali will not retire.
All right, well, let's say for a moment, theoretically, that he has retired. Let me show you footage from what would be his last fight. Now, we're going to pick it up in the 15th round. CBS covered this fight. You'll be able to see it in its entirety the night of October 22nd. Keep one thing in mind. This is late in the 15th round. Muhammad Ali appeared to have taken charge early in the 15th. But as we came down the stretch, then Ken Norton became the aggressor. You can see the time left in the round. We come inside of 30 seconds. In my opinion, and I think everyone else, this was the strongest part of the 15th round for one Kenny Norton. And Don and Bob, I know you were both at ringside, so you noticed the same thing that I did, that as soon as the fight ended, Ken Norton was absolutely certain that he had taken the crown away from Muhammad Ali. Now focus in on Kenny Norton, what he does. First of all, he is going to insult Muhammad Ali at the conclusion of this round. Then watch and see what he does following that. He'll go over to his corner, jump into the arms of his handler. There he is. You see, he thought that he had won the fight, no question about it. Now, I've got to tell you that both Don and Bob have told me that they agree with the decision. They thought Muhammad Ali won it. Don, let me propose this. if Muhammad Ali has retired, Ken Norton and George Foreman would fight for the heavyweight championship.
That seems like the way it would be, but that is not the way I would propose it to be. I have declared George Foreman heavyweight champion of the world. Now, this is not an arbitrary or ego trip. This is something that is substantiated by fact. George Foreman knocked out Ken Norton in 2 rounds in Caracas, Venezuela. He knocked out Joe Frazier twice. He has proven beyond a doubt that he's the most formidable and awesome guy out there, so I feel that he should fight Ken Norton, but it should be George Foreman champion, Ken Norton challenger.
Bob, would you agree with that? Should we just give the heavyweight title to George Foreman?
You don't give the heavyweight title to anybody. Whether Kenny Norton or Muhammad Ali won that fight, in the opinion of people, everybody in the nation will see on October 22nd. It was a very controversial fight. No question Muhammad Ali won because the officials scored it for Muhammad Ali. Whether the American public and the world public agrees, they will have to make their decision on October 22nd. But assuming that Ali now retires, what I think should happen, and I believe what the boxing associations believe should happen, is that Ken Norton and George Foreman should fight for the vacant heavyweight championship of the world. Rhetoric won't solve this. Don has his own opinions, I have mine. The better man will win when these 2 great fighters, Ken Norton and George Foreman, fight for the vacant heavyweight title, if Ali, in fact, is retired.
Bob and Don, both, thank you very much. And again, remember, the night of October 22nd, you can score that controversial fight yourself on CBS. And the NFL Today will continue on CBS right after this word from your local stations.
Share comedy with Rhoda on The Single Scene when a hip young bachelor tries to become her friend. Tomorrow at 8, 7 Central on CBS.
Open up your eyes, hey, look around you. There's a lot of world you've never seen.
The world isn't that far away, you know. On Pan Am, it's only a 747 away, in any direction.
Welcome to the world of Pan Am, because they're right to the world.
Where can you find a wagon in a size that's quite unique?
At Dodge, at Dodge.
Where can you find a wagon with the comfort that you seek?
At Dodge, at Dodge.
Everyone seems to agree this Aspen wagon is unbelievable. It carries so much more than the smaller station wagons, and almost as much as some of the larger ones. And it has a look that's simply marvelous.
Unbelievable.
See your Dodge dealer for dependable Dodge service and parts.
Channel 2, New York.
Irv, if Don King's right and Foreman's champion, then we got a heavyweight title fight. Dino Dennis and George Foreman a week from Friday. Listen, show me some highlights. St. Louis and the Giants.
Okay, well, the Giants really made a valiant effort today trying to get their first win, but couldn't quite do it as they didn't hang on long enough, and it went down to defeat at the hands of the St. Louis Cardinals 27-21. In the first quarter here, Craig Morton looks upfield trying to hit Bob Tucker can't do it. Mike sends the ball, picks the ball off, goes in for the first score of the day. The Cardinals win ahead at this point 7-0. The Giants again, this time, Mr. Zonka doing his thing, going over for T, the first of 2 today. Hart rolling out to his right, passes to Jones. The Cardinals get back on the scoreboard and lead 17-7 at this point. The Giants again trying to go through the air route. Morton passing to Gary Sherp, who carries the ball down to the 5-yard line, which sets up this next play for Larry Zonka. Second touchdown of the day. Big Larry goes over from the 1-yard line, and St. Louis still leads 20-14 at this point. But Hart's not counted out here yet as he hands the ball off to Jones. It goes over. The Cardinals are ahead, 27-14. The Giants trying to come back. White going over from the 1-yard line, but not enough, as the St. Louis Cardinals held on to win 27-21.
Irv, I'll tell you that Monday night overtime took much too much out of those grand old men of George Allen. Ambushed in Chicago today. We'll show you some of the action. Bob Avellini ran for the first touchdown. Look at the time he had. It was a pass play. Peyton will clear out Pat Fisher, and Avellini just goes in for the score. Peyton had a tremendous day, rushed for 104 yards. He could wind up the NFC rushing leader, but Harold McClinton got him here, folks. Clothesline, bingo, flags coming from every place. Out one play, and back he came. Chicago desperately has needed a wide receiver. James Scott, formerly of the Wiffle, he may help him out. Here he is catching a touchdown pass. Joe Theismann replaced Billy Kilmer for George Allen, but on this pass, it was tipped by a tight end, and Doug Plank came right out of center field, brought it upfield and set up a touchdown. And watch this run here by Walter Payton. This is why the Bears are beginning to think the future may be now. Hole jammed up, goes to the outside for a touchdown. 33-7, Chicago a winner.
A man puts many things in his automobile. Gasoline.
It's been around the NFL so long that both of us played against it.
And you know, there's a crew cut under that helmet. I know you can't tell it from here. I played golf with him, and if his family turns out, he's got a gallery that looks like Augusta. He's got about 20 people in his family. He's a great guy.
That, of course, is Earl Morrill, who's got a son who's a monster and quite a football player, too, an offensive tackle.
Pat, can you believe that the rushing statistics would be like this? 170 for Miami, with Malone with 94, and the Rams have only 65.
Oh, I can't
and the Rams have had to throw so much. 164 yards passing, 29 for Miami.
That's 19 passes the Rams have thrown in the first half. That's half a season usually for them, the way they rush the football. Of course, keep in mind again that Miami, for the most part, has been playing with a five-man front. A five-man defensive line designed to shut off that run. Tom Gerdine and Dwight Scales back deep for Los Angeles. And, of course, Garo Yepremian to kick off.
And also keep in mind that the Rams play the second half like it's World War III.
They have been overpowering in the fourth quarter, particularly. Yepremian hits a good one. Scales at the goal line. And he swings to his right and now back to the left. Hit by Mandich. And Scales gets out of bounds, and after all that running, got only back to about the 13-yard line.
They're going to have to tell the rookie to stop fooling around with that, bring it up, get to the wedge, try to get it to the 30-yard line, and then bail out. Let's see if the Rams have done some X's and O's on that chalkboard at halftime and have come up with a way to block the five-man front and figure out when the darn Dolphins are in it. Maybe that's the big confusion.
Looks like it's going to be a four-man front this time. And that's exactly what it is. Three linebackers, but they're overshifted. Still the same offensive setup for the Los Angeles Rams. James Harris still the quarterback. And he gets back to McCutcheon. McCutcheon trying to find some running room, can't make it. Tackled by Charlie Babb, who takes him out of bounds.
Actually, the Rams would probably be better off to go ahead and block it like it's a 5 and block that linebacker that stands up and just consider him a defensive end and go ahead and sweep that way and block it like it's an overshifted 5 and stop trying to make it maybe more difficult than it really is.
One other interesting statistic on 2nd and 8 now for Los Angeles, of the first half this is the fact that the NFC's leading rusher, John Cappelletti, had only 3 carries and picked up only 10 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8 with the ball at the 15 of Los Angeles in the opening seconds of period number 3. Fake to Cappelletti. Harris throws, tipped. One of the Dolphins got a hand on it. Burns in Herder, the 6'6" defensive end.
And Bonaconte might have intercepted that had Ben Herder not knocked it down. Harris just sort of lobbed that one down the middle and doesn't look like he's really in control right now.
3rd and 8. Big John Williams, one of the underrated tackles. Number 75 right there. The story on 3rd down conversions, and both of those, as a matter of fact, are pretty good.
Look how long this 3rd down conversion is. That's the problem.
Harris keeps Cappelletti back there with him and fires. He's got McCutcheon. McCutcheon swings down the middle outside the 40, and of course it's a Ram first down. Lawrence McCutcheon has done it all for the Rams so far.
And he comes out of nowhere. He'll come to the left of your screen, and watch Gordon look for him, number 50, and all of a sudden 30's in there, running flat free, and everybody begins to scrape and backhoe, as they say. Boy, he is some kind of an athlete. At least they surrounded him.
McCutcheon caught 4 passes in the first half alone. That's number 5 he just caught. It's first down Rams. Ball at their own 41-yard line. And hold it a second. The Dolphins got confused on how many men they had on the field and had to take a timeout in order to avoid a 5-yard penalty. They had one too many.
That's when you know your defense is really mixing them up, right? When you fool yourself.
A couple of times it looks like they've gotten away with 12 men on the field. That's next Sunday. The NFL on CBS. The Giants will open their new stadium in the Hackensack Meadows against the Dallas Cowboys. St. Louis will be against Philadelphia in Philadelphia. Atlanta at New Orleans. Chicago battles Minnesota, and Seattle against Green Bay. That's all in a regional broadcast. NFL next Sunday on CBS.
How about Chicago against Minnesota? We wouldn't even consider that game. That Party's got that bunch really knocking people.
Minnesota's got to play Pittsburgh between now and then. And Chicago just demolished Washington today, so that game takes on a little extra character. First down. Straight ahead, Cappelletti for nothing. Maybe a yard.
There's Toll. Look at him. He claims he's gotten the football. And he is mad. Now, he's a broadcast major from KU.
He ought to be able to make his point.
Look at him.
Yeah, I guess he did.
I'll tell you one thing. If he comes to the studio, I'm letting him have the mic.
He broadcasts with me when he wants to.
Look. He's getting the defensive signal. Either that or Don Shula's telling him to settle down.
Maybe a yard by Cappelletti. So we'll make it 2nd and 9 with the ball at the 42-yard line of Los Angeles. 13:20 left in the third period. The Dolphins 14-0 over the Rams. Takes an interception. Jesse wide open, and he ought to go. Ron Jesse, touchdown, Los Angeles.
And the blocking, so this pass was made possible. Incredible. Watch Hara, watch number 60 Hara and Rich Saul stand up, come back, and set up. That's Doug France to the top. Look at 61, and they're 77 now, and they really drill those Dolphins and get them off. And now Jesse has really split the underside of that zone and even gets a convoy as Harold Jackson, the Roadrunner, takes it in too.
58-yard touchdown pass from James Harris to Ron Jesse.
Did I say the throw was on?
You did.
It should have been, because it was really an excellent play by everybody.
Barry Hill, the Dolphin safety man, overplayed it just a little bit. 87 yards that drive, took them 5 plays. And now Dempsey with Steve Priest holding. They've had problems with the extra point and a field goal, but this one's good. And that'll make it the Miami Dolphins 14, the Los Angeles Rams 7. We have 13 minutes and 7 seconds left in the third period. A lot of football left.
Find that God's
tough football player is going to have to be helped off the field. And by the way, you'll notice one thing here, and that is the officials will always give the medical people all the time they want to take care of an injury. I remember one, you know which one I'm thinking of, Paul, when you were playing for the San Diego Chargers when Allen, the linebacker, broke his leg out there. Do you remember that one?
I went to the sidelines. I just couldn't believe it. He was good football. He's up with the Seattle Seahawks right now.
Let's talk about Lou Holtz, the head coach of the Jets right here. I chatted with him before the game. Paul told you that he has a 5-year contract, and what they say, a lot of football players go from college to the pros, and Holtz is trying to make the pros act like college players now with regard to their dedication and work. And he said he wants people who act like his rookies are acting out here. Told us his rookies are playing better for him than the veterans are. He said there's something wrong when that is the situation.
Well, you know, the Jets really surprised me, because everything that you heard about him coming into this game, Jack, has been they're one of the worst teams in the National Football League. And the way they're playing football this afternoon, the people in New York have got to be very proud of this football team. They came out here, the chances they had to win, if you talk about coming in first or second, they didn't even have a chance to come in third.
And the Jet fans will have their first chance to see their team at home during the regular season next Sunday when Buffalo plays there. And Buffalo won big today. So Holtz has a lot of work in front of him, along with his staff.
Got him out of bounds. Davis streaking down the far sideline on a fine return for Miami.
He's a rookie from Cal Poly. Now watch him go up, put the ball away very, very nicely and firm, and now he cuts it to the right side. Now watch Tom Dempsey make his second tackle of the day. Watch number 10 come along. Get him, Thomas. All right.
42-yard return by Davis. The Dolphins have the ball at their own 45-yard line. Ron Jesse, by the way, has 4 catches for 134 yards, and Harris, the Ram quarterback, 11 of 22 for 258 yards. Right now, it's Bob Greasy in the spotlight, though, as Benny Malone comes to the outside. He broke 1 tackle, got away.
That's sad, isn't it? This game is a tough way to make a living. A lot of glamour associated with it, but when you go down and you get hurt, why, it offsets a lot of the pictures in the paper and other thrills that the players get from performing in this game. There's Mrs. McGill going to ride the ambulance with her husband. It is confirmed that that is his wife. So onto the stretcher and into the ambulance, and who knows, we might even be watching the end of a football career for a very enthusiastic performer. Let's hope that's not the case. When the ball came loose, Paul, when that ball's rolling around, why, anything goes, right?
Well, it does.
I thought it was a late hit to start with, but I hadn't realized the ball had come loose.
And you know, at that point, the ball was fumbled. Hennigan is alert, and he sees the ball. Now, you see it right here. Now, look at McGill. There's Clark Gaines, number 21. He's also in on the play. But watch right here. There's the ball going down. Hennigan sees the ball, and all he's doing right now is just diving for the football, and it just so happens that his head hit McGill's right there.
Paul, am I right? When we saw him on the stretcher, there was apparently nothing wrong with his legs, right?
Yeah, what they, you know,
So it's something to the upper torso, but we won't venture any further guess from that. We'll just lay off the guesses altogether.
You know, what I do like to see is that they take all the precautions in the world, and they just, you know, don't rush out and let's you know, the players, let's go help a guy off the field. Let the physicians do it, and let everybody else worry about it later on.
We have an updated score as James Harris has hit Ron Jesse with a 58-yard scoring pass to put the Rams on the board, and the Rams now trail Miami 14-7 with 13 minutes left in the third.
Watch number 64 now. The ball is coming right over his shoulder, and Twilly is watching first Hacksaw, then the ball. And if I was Twilly right now, I'd just worry about Hacksaw. Boy, I don't know.
That's close.
I think Twilly had a chance to catch the ball, and I think Hacksaw had a legal right to be in front of him running that way as long as he didn't interfere with it.
That one I wonder about. In any case, it's a first down. The ball now on the Rams 22. Winfrey gets the call and breaks down to the 15, down to the 12 before he's brought down by Monty Jackson. Stan Winfrey.
Big block by Jim Langer. Jim Langer on Larry Brooks. Watch number 62, and 66 Little works around his. And that's where it happens right there. A super run, but an incredibly good job of blocking against a very good defensive bunch of ball players.
Close enough for a first down, or close enough to a first down for a measurement down. The Dolphins 14, the Rams 7 with 11:50 to go in the third period. Measuring for a first down.
I got to see New England now. If they handle the Dolphins and made them look like an average football team, they got to be playing some kind of football.
What about what they've done since then?
Yeah, a pretty good team from Oakland.
And a pretty good team from Pittsburgh they beat last week. What are they doing up there? Not quite a first down. Not nearly a yard to go. More like a foot. But we'll call it second and a very, very short one. The indication from Jim Tunney and his fine crew of officials that include Pat Harder, Burl Toller, Bob McElwee, Pat Knight, and Charlie Musser. Second and short. Look out for this one. Malone gets the call and got the Dolphin first down close to the 10. Brooks getting up from underneath the pile. I'd imagine you'll find Youngblood down there somewhere too, and Hacksaw Reynolds, that would figure.
Is that Benny Malone just a little bit bow-legged?
And a little bit quick to go along with it.
Wait till we get a shot of him going back to the huddle here in a minute when we can get it back on this side.
It looks like one of his feet might fly off any minute.
It looks like a human egg beater when he comes down the field. The main thing about him is that he's active and he's got a lot of herky-jerky motion and tough to tackle. Number 32 is...
It is first down yardage by Benny Malone. And the Dolphins have the ball at the Los Angeles 11-yard line. The Jets and San Francisco in the third period. The score is 0-0. By far the best effort so far by the Jets. They were shut out by Miami last week. Right here. First and 10, Miami on the Los Angeles 11. He's going to go, and he's got lots of room. Down to just shy of the 1-yard line. 5 years ago, he would have challenged those tacklers.
Pat, the main thing is, if you go too early, you're in trouble. If you go too late, you're in trouble. And he knows just about when to act like he's throwing it and now go. And it's the second rush in by the defense. And now he knows that he's really pushing it now. They want him so bad to stand up.
He got very close to a first down yardage. Jackson and Perry made the tackle.
I wonder what the odds are for a quarterback to run 3 or 4 times against the Rams and get away with it.
Very slim. Kind of getting all the kinks out of the chain now.
What a drive this has been.
Has it been?
Because the Rams had just scored, made it look easy, and now they come back with a good return, and Bob Greasy has them moving, and they are in control again.
Second and inches, the situation. Ball's at the 2-yard line, just inside that. We have 10 minutes and 41 seconds left, third period. The Dolphins lead the Rams 14-7. Top got very close. That time left I gave you just a second ago is remaining in the third quarter. So there's lots of football left at the Orange Bowl in Miami. And Kulas did not score, but he did get the first down at about the half-yard line.
You've got Olsen, and you've got Cody Jones, Hacksaw Reynolds, Fanning, Brooks. That's an average of about 268 or 270 per.
That's right in the middle of that Ram defensive line. Bob Greasy. Malone and Kulas to set backs, and Malone. No, this is Winfrey. This is score.
Andre Tillman to the top of your screen, the big tight end, and Larry Little leads him through the hole. Look at that. Look at 66.
That is Jim Youngblood that he just shadowed.
All right,
Watch
same play, different view. Good block by Kulas, too. Look at that Little. Wow, blows him right out of the hole.
A 55-yard drive, climaxed by that 1-yard run by Stan Winfrey. It took him 6 plays. Premium makes it 21-7 Miami. It has been a very, very strong showing for Don Shula's Miami Dolphins as they have controlled the football against the Rams and lead by 2 touchdowns.
As a Sir Walter Raleigh smoker, I know...
A bit with the linebackers. They're just dropping off too far. When you're down to a situation 3rd and 4 and 5, when you drop off and there's a back that you have to cover, you've got to take him on. You can't get too far back beyond the line, beyond the first down yardage, so you can make that play. You got to force him right away. Just come right up on the back down out of the backfield.
Especially on 3rd down. It's a first down now from the 21. And it is Williams. He made contact and then slid inside for pretty good yardage. 4 yards. 2nd and 6 coming up. 2:10 remaining in the third period. That batted pass is the one that might do the Jets in. Washington goes to the right. Willie McGee comes left. The tight end is Mitchell. He's on the left side this time. 2nd down and 6. Williams again. And the hole closed in a hurry as Ed Gallagher got to it. With Richard Neal in on the action.
Boy, Gallagher is strong and fast. He was back to the inside, moving down the line, going towards the off-tackle position. When he saw Johnson cut back to the inside, he made the tackle. Just a good play.
Williams has run for 50 yards and 15 carries. It is 3rd down and 3. He threw in this spot a while back. Plunkett did. This is a delay to Sammy Johnson, and it'll be 4th down.
So, not necessarily a very popular call at the Orange Bowl.
But it's just as good as if they recovered it. They think they should have it. And the feeling is, hey, look what we just did. They didn't give it to us, but by gosh, we showed them who was boss. Now watch Scales. He decides to stay behind the wedge this time. No fooling around. And watch these people in those marine green jerseys come through there. Yeah, it's down. It's legal. They kick it out right there and go after it like piranha.
James Harris takes over the offensive unit on 1st and 10. 9:37 left, 3rd period. The ball at the Ram 24. And Harris says, I can't hear because of the booze. And the crowd's delighted. That's exactly what they wanted.
There are no extra seats around here today.
About 70,000 on hand at the Orange Bowl to watch the Rams.
There's a natural rivalry, Los Angeles and Miami. Let's face it. You know, who has the best oranges? All of them.
You know, when the Jets were here last week, they complained about the heat. Lou Holtz said he hadn't practiced in a day over 70 degrees. Of course, he got shut out 16-0.
I know Miami has better oranges than New York.
Oh, yeah. And again, chorus of boos coming. The crowd at the Orange Bowl, and Harris sets his offensive unit down. Perhaps trying to call an audible. He gives McCutcheon. McCutcheon was chased behind the line of scrimmage, got away from a couple of tacklers and 2 or 3 more. John Andrews had a chance behind the line of scrimmage. Larry Gordon finally made the tackle.
Ben, it looks like against that 5-2 that somebody's pulling and nobody's sealing down that interior lineman. And McCutcheon is probably going to be the one that says, hey, fellas, do we know what defense they were in? Because that's like getting run over at a railroad crossing.
He got 8 yards, most of it on his own. We'll make it 2nd and 2 at the 32. McCutcheon again trying to sweep behind Hara. Got the 1st down. Hit by Toll, I believe, the middle linebacker. Watch him again. Watch this pursuit.
Watch Charlie Babb come up by Toll, a middle linebacker. Look at that Toll knock people out of the way. Then the Jayhawker gets some help by Babb cutting the playback inside and buries McCutcheon. Hey, he's a pretty active young linebacker.
I'll say. McCutcheon's carried 10 times now for 53 yards, and he is coming closer and closer to replacing Dan Cowler as the 2nd leading Ram rusher of all time. Dick Bass is number 1. On 1st down, Harris fakes, and Harris fires. He's got Jackson. Jackson dances away from a couple. He's got a 1st down in Miami territory. And again, it's Steve Toll who made the tackle.
Well, little Harold Jackson to the top of your screen is so fast that he backed Kenny Ellis way off. And Ellis knows he's got that 4.3 speed for the 40. So then he just hooks it back up. And I actually think Harold could have either flown if he had the chance or hooked it up. I believe that was an option for him. Not now.
Harris waited. Harris gets back to Capoletti, and that's his biggest gain of the day. Like about a 6 or 7 yard pickup before Bill Stanfill and Steve Toll again made the tackle. That's only the 4th carry of the afternoon for John Capoletti.
And one of the things that John is learning right now is what experience is all about. They're facing first some guys that have been in a couple of Super Bowls or so, and they're seeing some different defenses. So pretty young team has a little bit of trouble.
2nd and 4. 7 minutes now left in the third period. Miami 21, Los Angeles 7. McCutcheon behind Mack, cuts all the way back. And he is taken down by Andrews. And Larry Gordon, I believe, in the pursuit. Watch Gordon chase him.
Now watch as everybody pulls to block, and they forget the guy they're trying to block for. McCutcheon decides to cut back, and all his friends have gone.
And Gordon with a good tackle. They say he makes mistakes. Gordon, I mean. But they also say he learns rapidly.
Bring back unused portion. He does a pretty good job.
Yes, he does. 3rd and 4. The Dolphins have 5 defensive backs in the game. Brian Salter, the extra one. Cappelletti, the lone setback for the Rams. Harris on a quarterback draw. And he might have taken too much time.
That's what it is. The man in the downfield, the official that's downfield, that's in charge of that 30-second clock.
Of course, it's easy to see this year. Too much time because there's the clock at both ends of the Orange Bowl. All the stadiums have these now. That indicates to the fans as well as to us that they have 30 seconds to get underway.
I'm wondering if maybe the Dolphins are playing a game of signals and changing their defenses after the Rams have flashed out their offensive signal, maybe.
Could be. Right now, they've got the extra defensive back in there, Brian Salter. San Francisco 3. The New York Jets nothing now in the fourth quarter in San Francisco. Mickemeyer, a 31-yard field goal.
3rd and long. And again, the conversion on 3rd down depends on how much your 3rd down is for. This is always 3rd and long facing the Rams this day.
They've got Jesse in the backfield again. McCutcheon is out. Jesse, of course, number 81, and there he goes in motion. Got him in the pass pattern. Deep to Jesse. Touchdown run, Jesse Ram. He beat Brian Salter.
I wondered if 81 had control of the ball as he went over the line.
It's 9-0.
And Austin, number 67, if you don't think these people were doing some holding in here, the rush is on. Elam the ball bounces right back up. Hardman is the man that tackled, name it. The ball bounces right back up. Look at Austin Holden, number 67. Hardman makes the stop. Elam picks it up and scores a touchdown.
That was the 5th sack today for the 49ers, and they now lead 9-0. Bull puts it down. Mickemeyer makes it 10-0.
To stop.
With Steve Priest holding, trying to make it 21-14. So the combination of James Harris and Ron Jesse have hooked up again. And they've got the Rams' 2nd touchdown. It's 21-14.
Are you like me? Crazy about cars?
He works for him, you know.
That machine of yours?
Camera with Weekend Sports. Quarterback Steve Grogan engineered the route by running for 2 scores and throwing for 3 more. 2 TD passes went to Darrell Stingley, the 3rd to Marlon Briscoe. Patriot fullback Sam Cunningham ran for 101 yards and caught 5 passes for 94 yards. The Patriots are 3-1. Oakland lost its first game in 4 starts. The much improved Chicago Bears socked it to the old little boat.
He might not.
Next to it, we have a snake plant. Really hard to kill.
As the Bears handed the Redskins their first loss. The Bears...
Now, I'm mentioning this.
I draw my card, brother.
Even concentrate.
And she's befit.
Little north of 137th Street, Delafield provides...
See you. You bet.
Doing with that thing. Luke DeCone closest to you. And Louis Giamona at the top of your screen.
Okay, Pat Knight, and there's Jesse reaching for the ball. Now, Pat Knight is the official. Watch this. And he sees those feet go together there. And if the ball is in control and he says it is, it's a touchdown. And the arms go right up.
Dempsey kicks a high kick in the direction of Winfrey. He decides to let it go, and Davis finally picks it up. And Davis slips down, shy of the 20-yard line, and a flag goes down.
Looks like clipping against Miami, and they are going to start from deep. And it's going to take another greasy drive to sort of set the Rams back.
It is holding called against the Dolphins.
Whatever, suddenly the impetus has changed to the guys in the gold and blue a little bit.
We still got plenty of time. 5 minutes and 49 seconds left in the third period yet. And it's 21-14 Miami over Los Angeles. Holding against the Dolphins.
And the Rams seem to get it going. They're like a big machine. They begin to labor a little bit early, and they don't do things right. But by the fourth period, when they find out what you're doing, if they can decide, they can play pretty good football.
The fourth period, at least so far this season, has been their quarter. Here's Bob Greasy on first down. The ball at his own 9-yard line. The pitch back to Malone. And Malone did well to hang on to the football. Stopped by Monty Jackson, the right cornerback.
Look at Malone. Watch Benny now. If you can pan down just a little bit. There's a little guy that came out of Arizona where they just chopped cotton and sold potatoes and just work, boy. That's all the Malone brothers do. And they can play football. And I'm awfully proud of them, I'll tell you, from Art on to this young fellow you're watching right here.
Somewhere they all learned how to run.
And fast.
Yeah. Second and 6, the situation now. The ball at the Dolphin 13, and here's Malone again. Down the corner, he falls. Elmendorf made sure he was down, short of a first down. And again, Big Darrell Carlton limps back to the offensive huddle for the Miami Dolphins, number 71, having those ankle problems. Sure, he had it retaped at the half, and out comes Howard Twilley. And in goes Jim Mandich, excuse me.
I would say if there's a big one, a big 2 yards, so far.
Well, there's Hardman and Weber both back there. Hardman beats Roman. Joe gets back just way too far. Look, you see Hardman get back, and right afterward, he just gets slammed.
What a number he did on him, and Namath is limping. I don't think we'll see him anymore today. Here's Dwayne Carroll punting again. And rather than McGill, it's Bruce Taylor and Anthony Leonard waiting. Not too deep, but high in the air, and it'll be well covered. Oh, it's been touched, and it's a free ball. And it belongs to San Francisco. They got the break. They got the ball back. Jazz Jackson was down there, but Bruce Rhodes got it back for the 49ers.
Holding right there. It looked like Tillman, maybe, the tight end, huh?
Against Isaiah.
That is an unbelievable goddamn ball.
The Bible, they tell you not to hold Isaiah, don't they?
I think so, and that again is the voice of Don Shula. You just heard with those comments on the sideline.
Offense.
Offensive.
Number 88. Half the distance to the goal line.
Jim Mandich was the violator that time. Don Shula again down talking to the officials. Now it's going to be 3rd and about 11. Now, do you throw it, Thomas?
Oh, gosh, and the Rams have just come back and put 2 on the board in the third period. I would certainly be very careful here. I think they'll be willing to go ahead and punt the football out.
I would think so, but let's see. You saw that 10-0 score, San Francisco. Goulash tucked the ball away safely. He hasn't fumbled all year, recall. And we'll see Larry Seipel.
And yet, as soon as you become so conservative that now you start doing this, you lose whatever edge you build up in that first half.
You see Big Darrell Carlton limping off. There is the sure-handed one, Jim Bertelsen, back in.
Colonel Wing of the African and will meet
all time, they say.
Before you know, you just hang it up.
Thanks. He isn't. But
Seipel deep in his own end zone. Hangs a high one in the direction of Bertelsen. He's going to try to run it back. Jimmy Bertelsen shakes one tackler. Gets into Dolphin territory down to the 46-yard line after a 41-yard punt by Larry Seipel. Stopped by Norm Goulash. Take a deep breath and take all this in now. The CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time has the World Light Heavyweight Championship.
Plunkett, one of the few he's run today. He's got all the time in the world. Steps up in the pocket. He sees Washington breaking.
Interference, defense, first down.
They got their feet tangled. Now, I don't know whether he made any hand contact and push, but he must have because the other official threw the flag. It's first down at the 20-yard.
And McCutcheon gets the call. Cuts back inside, a block by Dennis Harrah.
I believe he actually tripped on Harrah and still made about 5. Watch the man now that spent 4 years of his life in Fort Collins, Colorado. Now let's see if he trips on Harrah. He does. That Dennis Harrah knocks everything down, including his own ball players.
Can I say that fight was in Germany?
Mount Everest, I think you said.
Right. Copenhagen, I think I know is in Denmark. McCutcheon again. Got a couple blockers out in front. Gets around the corner and spins close to a first down. Bill Stanfill made the tackle.
Notice how Harris is going on a little bit longer counts. Looks like he's going on 3 and 4, and he's in no hurry to make the call on the line of scrimmage, and it's settled down the offensive pattern. Looks like they're beginning to pull and cleanly get the job done a little bit.
It's going to be third and less than a yard with 2 minutes and 12 seconds left in the third period. Miami 21, Los Angeles 14. McCutcheon, the workhorse, got the first down.
He paid for it. Pat, he paid for it. Den Herder really stuck him. The 6'6" defensive end from Central Iowa. Can't believe all he ever played was basketball. Watch this, though. I think it's Den Herder or maybe Toll, the middle linebacker. Capoletti goes through the hole and gets cracked. I believe it's Toll, that young linebacker, that did most of it.
McCutcheon got the first down yardage he needed, but nothing more. McCutcheon goes out, limps out, in fact. And the tandem of setbacks now for the Rams are Bertelsen and Capoletti. Fake is to Bertelsen. Harris running for his life, fires over the middle. He's got Jesse again. Barry Hill is having a heck of a time with Jesse.
Well, it's a darn much room between the linebackers and the safety men. Watch this fake. In fact, the fake is so good that Harris almost gets tangled up himself, and he's got a problem with Stanfill. It's one of the great throws that James Harris has ever made because he had to do it under a lot of duress.
Randy Crowder was looking right at him. 17-yard pickup, force enough for a first down for Los Angeles. Ball at the 18-yard line, 50 seconds left, third period. Capoletti gets the call. Cappy might have a little room. Fakes one. Good tackle by Ken Ellis on the outside. Ellis came up and stuck him pretty good.
Well, I'll tell you, when the Rams finally get you located and focused on you, they can really play the rushing game of football.
Bertelsen goes out. McCutcheon comes back.
Buonacati is not only a great linebacker and going to be a heck of a broadcaster, but he's also a lawyer, isn't he?
Yeah, practices here in Miami. There he is, number 85. Harris, the pass. Protection is good. Bob Klein jumped, fell over a couple of Dolphins and couldn't come down with the ball.
Is that your friend Barry Hill that was up on top?
I think so.
Number 44 was... Klein is about 6'5" and a half inches tall anyway. Big guy from Santa Monica. Now watch this. It's a jump ball. That's the NBA stuff.
That's Barry Hill landing on head. Bryant Salter goes into the defensive unit on 3rd and 7 now. And Buonacati comes out. With an option pass, he throws back to Harris, bounces it back to Harris. If it's a lateral, of course, it's okay. Harris picks it up and goes to the 3-yard line. And I'm assuming it was a lateral.
That's what they're going to make sure, but if it didn't go laterally, if it went the least bit forward, It's just an incomplete pass. Take a look at it now.
Watch where McCutcheon is where he throws, and watch where it bounces to Harris.
Remember, he can't take a pass back. The quarterback is not a legal receiver. I believe it's a lateral. It is. It's a legal play.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score. Miami 21, Los Angeles 14. We now pause for a word from your local station.
Sideline. Dragging that right knee a bit. To the left, it's David Knight. Picone to the right. The give is to Marinaro. He broke a couple of tackles and gained about 9 yards on the play before Mel Phillips finally put a stop to it, along with Dave Washington, the linebacker.
Marinaro actually has been on the only offense that the Jets have had all afternoon.
In his 5th year now from Cornell, and he has gained 94 yards in 16 carries.
It's a good day's work.
2nd down and 1. Todd, the rookie from Alabama, 6'2", 210. Good time to throw the ball, wouldn't it, Paul? But no. He doesn't. He gives to Marinaro for a 1st down carry. Did you say no?
Well, when I saw him running, I said no. You know, Jack, it's a tough situation. You're coming into a ball game 17 points down. You're in the 4th quarter, and you see the other quarterback in front of you getting mauled all afternoon, you know, and it come into a game, and he's really not warmed up to start throwing a football. He's got to run some plays. The 49ers know it. I'd hate to be in his position right now.
Fields is the center. Austin and Rasmussen the guards. The fake to Marinaro. Good action. A pop pass to Marinaro. And he gained about 7 yards on the play. You can sure see the difference in the mobility of the two quarterbacks, Namath and Todd. It's almost, when we watched Namath, that he couldn't drop quickly enough to throw a screen or anything of the sort, Paul.
All right, like with Todd here now, you got to be a little bit more careful with this man, because he'll come out and run on you. He can dance around a little bit. There's not only making the tackle on Marinaro, but he can move a little bit better than Joe Namath. So they got to contain him to the outside. You can't just take off and run at it.
2nd down and 2. He is going to throw the ball, and good coverage out there by Mel Phillips. The pass incomplete to Satterwhite.
And now he's simply a rushing ball carrier. By the way, Harris has 30 yards.
In 4 carries. Might also point out that if the defense had recovered that, they could not pick it up and run with it. Stroud still doesn't understand that last ruling, but there was nothing wrong with that. James Harris and his offensive unit. 1st down and goal from the 3. He gives to McCutcheon. Ryan Capoletti and Hara, and McCutcheon does not get in. He got to the 1. That was the first play of the 4th period at the Orange Bowl in Miami, where the Dolphins lead the Rams 21-14. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire on a perfect late afternoon in South Florida.
Well, that Toll, that young linebacker, really gets a great lateral pursuit. That play looked like it had TD written all over it. Toll somehow got over and turned it upside down.
Been a good day for James Harris, as you can see. 2nd and goal.
Look at Harris helping get some of his linemen up. He helped Doug France up. He waits, lets the undercharge take care, and up over the top at least once.
Again, it was very close, but if any part of the ball is over or on the goal line, it is touchdown. From that angle, it doesn't look like he made it, but from straight down the sideline, it does. Tom Dempsey to try to tie it up now at 21 all. And he does. It is the Miami Dolphins 21, the Rams 21. Harris and the Rams took 9 plays to go 46 yards to tie it.
Lee is mighty particular. Ball at the 22, 2nd down and 7. Straight back. Look out, Richard Todd. He throws. Was it caught? Yes, it was. It is 1st and goal to go. David Knight, with the defender Jimmy Johnson hanging all over him, makes it 1st and goal from 1.5 yards.
Oh, look at this. You talk about a perfect pass. He's got good protection. Hardman's coming from the backside, but Todd gets this off. Johnson's there, but look at this catch. It's perfect.
Now we'll watch Al Crevis, who just checked into the line, the second-year man from Boston College, blocking number 71.
He's sitting there blocking Hart, that's they call that slam dunk across the side of your head, isn't it?
1st and goal, and a touchdown for New York with Marinaro going across. Marinaro with a touchdown.
And nothing will give a young quarterback more confidence in his team and in himself than being put in a situation like he was here, Todd, and move your team the whole length of the field and score a touchdown.
Look at Namath give him 5. So nice going, kid. The extra point attempt by Leahy, attempting to make it 17-7. 7:21 remaining in the game. That is blocked. Tommy Hart, I believe, is the one who got in there and knocked it down. Well, that keeps the Jets 11 points behind.
Oh, it was the bowling ball himself, Nottingham.
One of the great blockers, not having a good rushing year, and Boulash has sort of displaced him right now. Boo's a little bit better pass receiver. But Pat, everything the Rams have done has been close. They almost juggled one at the end zone that Jesse caught. Did they score on the last quarterback sneak or not? But this kind of a game between two great clubs, I think, is decided that way.
Scoreboard's got it 21 apiece with just over 14 minutes left in the football game. The Rams and the Dolphins hard at it. Greasy takes to Winfrey and fires this time to Malone. Malone comes into the secondary, about an 8-yard pickup before he is stopped by Jim Youngblood.
A great call by Bob Greasy, and one of the great tackles by the man you see right there, Jim Youngblood. Here's Jack Youngblood, no relation, putting the rush on. And down the field, Jim Youngblood made a heck of a tackle on Malone in the open field. There's Vinny.
Coming out of the backfield, he made that pass reception on 2nd and 1 now. 9-yard pickup by Greasy on 1st down. Boulash, the back closest to him, gets the call. Boulash gets right to the 50-yard line and a 1st down. You see him looking?
He's looking right by the yard marker and also toward the coach. If he hadn't have made that, he has to look Shula right in the eyes.
Shula can look pretty tough sometimes.
Now, you've been covering Nat Moore all day, and he hasn't caught a pass.
That's right.
That would scare me to death. If I was over on defense, I'd be saying, I know they have to go to him in this kind of a game sometime.
In the event you might have joined us late, Bob Greasy is playing with a badly bruised and sore finger on his throwing hand. Fires outside. Quillen is knocked loose as he will really pop by Monty Jackson.
Monty Jackson, the young man from San Diego State. The top of your screen, a quick out. Most defensive backs just fear the very thought of missing a tackle on this. Watch what Jackson does. Howard Twilley.
You won't see Twilley drop too many either. The information has just come to us that this is James Harris' best game ever as far as the cumulative yards are concerned. Stan Winfrey in the backfield. I'll give you the rest of that information in a minute. Winfrey's the fullback. Winfrey, about a 5-yard gain. Against Baltimore in 1975, James Harris had 294 yards. He's already got 336 today. So it looks like he's well.
You know what I like about the way he's run the game, and I'm talking about appreciating a quarterback's play, is that he really has run his offense under awful conditions today. Great defense, a lot of changing fronts, and he's been very cool. And as you see right now, it's Greasy who's got to pick up the big 3rd down.
Jim Mandich in the game for the Dolphins, and so is Larry Seifel. Seifel, number 20. Out of the backfield he comes, and so does Boulash. Boulash overthrown. Isaiah Robertson right with Boo. That's Bill Simpson, who's down the field. Too far out for Euphremian. Seifel will stay in and punt. And keep in mind a point that Tom Brookshire made earlier in our broadcast. Seifel can run with the football. And this is a good spot on the field to take off with it, too. Seifel, in addition, is a fine athlete, fine enough to pass as well. Bertelsen back at the 10-yard line for the Rams by himself.
He's a fair coffin corner kicker. That would be the ideal thing to do right now, is to try to drop it in the corner.
He's looking in that direction. He hangs it high. Bertelsen goes over to look. Not very effective. It went out of bounds at the 24. And that's where the Rams will take it over. Now they move up to the 25-yard line where the Rams will take over. We have 11 minutes and 42 seconds left in the fourth period at the Orange Bowl. It's 21-21 between the Rams and the Dolphins.
Linebacker number 50 getting him along with Hardman. 4:40 left.
Well, the reason I said punt there, Jack, is that they are 11 points ahead. That means that the Jets have to score 2 touchdowns. A touchdown and a field goal just wouldn't help them.
David Knight comes to the left, and Picone is to the right. Caught on second down, fakes the delay, and throws it. What a toss that was to Marinaro. Marinaro still going across the 40-yard line. What a play by Richard Todd, going down, and he threw a sidearm curveball to Marinaro.
You got to love that play. What a move he made.
Hardman again, it was.
This is a screen to Marinaro, and what happened is the rush came so fast, Hart was in there, he pivots back to the outside, Todd, and look, he's on his way down when he fired the ball.
Marinaro made a knee-high catch and then got some good blocks downfield as Phillips was crumbled. It's a first down at their own 43 for New York. Cookie out here to the tight end, Castor. That's good for about... Three and a half minutes, 3:27 left. Vanderbunt chased him out.
He makes it exciting, doesn't he?
Well, the Jets have made it exciting here today, Paul. That one batted ball that went up in the air seemed to turn the tide when Mitchell caught it, didn't it?
Yeah, and the pass really
and
wasn't.
And the fumble by Namath.
They see the athlete can do everything at about 3/4 speed, and it's faster than just darn near anybody else or anything else. That's just what he did. He's supposed to throw it. Nobody was fooled. He puts it away.
San Francisco 17, the New York Jets 6. That's the fourth quarter score at Candlestick Park. Look at this one.
End of a dream, huh?
Right. 23-0. Denver over San Diego. And Dallas has taken the lead in the fourth period over Seattle. Cowboys 21. Seattle 13. Third down, and James Harris drops the pass and throws. He got Jesse again. Jesse broke one tackle, now breaks another one. And Ron Jesse gets away from another man and shakes again. Jesse to the 43-yard line before they finally gang up and stop him. A first down, Los Angeles.
Brian Salter missed him at least twice. Here's the play. Good blocking now, an over defense by the Dolphins, and the pass rush now is non-existent. Harris stands straight up. Here's Salter's first shot at number 81, Jesse. Look at that balance. Now Jesse decides to cut it upfield. He would like to be tackled now in a neat fashion, but nobody wants to cooperate. And he has to go through it. There's Salter again, number 30. He stayed with it.
Fine run by Jesse. He came out of the backfield again. That's catch number 70 for Ron, or 7 rather, for Ron Jesse. 70, that's a pretty good year. In the direction of Jackson, got it. Fine catch by Jackson as he slipped going down.
Not bad coverage either by Kenny Ellis, but what do you do? Again, watch the pass blocking. That was Cappelletti helping to the top, McCutcheon helping to the bottom on Stanfield, and look at this diving catch on a deep sideline.
25-yard gain by Jackson. Good catch. Jesse, I started to say a minute ago before I gave him 70 catches, has 7 for 220 yards. 2 touchdowns. Not too shabby.
And he's not through, maybe.
Capoletti comes to the outside, now cuts back inside. Hit by Gordon.
Patience is a virtue, you know. Even in football, where everything explodes on the count, on the line of scrimmage, that time Capoletti went to the left and saw the defense sort of overrunning, and then he just turned it back inside.
Against Minnesota, the Rams ran that play with Capoletti carrying and looking for the hole against Carl Eller 14 times in one ball game. He finally asked the offensive tackle, let me give you my playbook. Don't you have another play? Here's Bertelsen straight ahead. Looking for the first down. He got inside the 10-yard line. The attendance today, 65,314. They haven't been disappointed.
Now, if you had to write a script for one, and let's say the Rams get 3 points, there's still a lot of time left. So what we're trying to say is the Rams want to really nail down 7 now and not take a chance. Because as we've told people before, if you're thinking about an early dinner, this could be one where it might be a little bit longer.
Could be. 8 minutes and 21 seconds left on the clock now. 3rd and 2. Capoletti right behind James Harris. But McCutcheon gets the call. McCutcheon's got the first down. Touchdown, Los Angeles. Lawrence McCutcheon sweeping to his left, scores for the Rams.
All right, here's this 206-pounder. Look at Max inside, Doug France inside. Good blocks that cut off the pursuit. Now the feet take over. Just inside the flag. No problem.
That good block by Tom Mack cut down Charlie Babb. And McCutcheon got it in. It is Los Angeles 27. Miami Dolphins 21. Dempsey and Steve Priest holding, trying to make it 28. Dead center. The Rams 28, the Dolphins 21. McCutcheon, 9-yard touchdown run in a drive that went 75 yards and took just 7 plays. The Rams lead by 7.
The Fiscal line is just crumbling those quarterbacks.
What you do is you grab a guy like Knight when he comes back in the huddle and you say, look, if I want to stand back here and get killed, at least you can do is catch the ball when I get it to you.
2nd down and 10. 2:08 remaining in the game. Score 17-6. The 49ers on top. Satterwhite goes to the right. They play another game, and there goes Elam. Fumble, kicked by Hart. Loose ball, Jets have it. Way back inside the 35-yard line. Rasmussen recovered it. Hart was trying to get on it, and he kicked it. Elam came looping around from the outside, and he nailed him again. Well, Hartman and Elam and Webb and Hart have been shaking hands all day, congratulating each other.
Jack, what's happening is Rasmussen and Roman, 2 people on the left guard and tackle. We'll get to it in a second.
Yeah, the Rams have gone ahead of the Dolphins, by the way, 28-21 in the 4th quarter.
I don't believe that's... No, I'm not going to comment on it. I don't think it is.
Can you sing?
No.
Is there a song? Oh, see there. You look like Vaughn Monroe. Buck Monroe.
Stay out of wardrobe, right?
Here's Tom Dempsey. Again, it's a line drive kick. Again, taken by Nottingham. Nottingham hit by Thomas. Gets out to the 38-yard line where the Dolphins will take over. Dempsey really having a problem with his kickoffs.
Tough team, though, to catch up against.
Oh, yeah.
Real tough team to try to load it up. The only thing that's great about Bob Greasy is that he doesn't try to do it in one play anyway.
Now, if you try to do it in one play against a team that rushes the passer as well as the Rams do, then you're going to have a lot of problems. And it's 1st and 10 for Greasy in that offensive unit. Bulash and Malone, the offensive backs, with 7 minutes and 55 seconds left to play. Here comes the blitz. Outside Malone, and he fell down. Boy, was that ever set up.
How did Youngblood, how was he the one that came over and touched down Benny Malone? Now, again, that's regular grass. Benny just got everything all tangled up.
He had some blockers in front.
Well, he did. Now watch Jack Youngblood. He picked up here by Boulash. Get us a screen. Now the ball's already gone. Most guys would quit, right? Not the darn Rams. Dreyer goes over and he's got his buddy there watching, making sure.
Play lost 4 yards, so it's 2nd and 14. This time a protection hold. First catch of the day by Matt Moore. And Greasy laid it right in there.
He scares me. At 5'10", about 185 pounds, he has that sudden burst. He is to the top of your screen, coming straight across. And watch where he catches it. He doesn't even see or hear these people. He's a fearless, fearless little receiver, I'll tell you. He is tough.
Played his high school football right here in Miami. Then went to the University of Florida. 19-yard pickup. The Dolphins are in Ram territory with just under 6.5 minutes left to play in the game. Easy back. Again, good protection. Firing deep this time again for Moore. He's out there. Touchdown. 47-yard strike from Greasy to Moore.
Top of the screen. A deep post pattern. A beautiful throw by a guy who is supposed not to have a big arm. That's from about the 45-yard line. And I mean, it is a spaceship. Watch the catch. Matt Moore's 17th catch of the year. That's 51.5 yards right on the button, and I mean on the numbers.
What a strike. And now Euphemian with a chance to tie it up. And he does. Look at that clock, and it shows 6 minutes and 17 seconds left to play in the game. It's the Dolphins 28, the Rams 28.
For an injury report on Namath. This is the other Johnson, Sammy Johnson. He wants to stay in bounds, and he does with 20 seconds remaining. And now the Dolphins have tied the Rams 28-28 in that game. I will check and see how much time is left. I guess about 4 minutes remaining in that one. (28-28), the Dolphins and the Rams, and this one ends right here. So after a scoreless first half, the 49ers, with Elam picking up a fumble and going on into score, after a batted pass seemed to change everything around, 49ers got on top 17-0. They have won the game 17-6. They have a record of 3-1.
Attention, please. Now coming in.
Don Shula pacing up and down in front of the Dolphin bench. It's 28 apiece.
You know what he's saying to Chuck Knox? Don't get that charter airliner all warmed up. It's going to be a while.
You think about overtime, I'm sure. There's Ron Jaworski standing alongside Chuck Knox. With Premium. Don't think they'd offside kick, do you?
You think there's this much tension in Cyprus? I suppose so.
Ball handled by Curtin. He's to the 20 at 25. Breaks a couple, breaks another one. And outside to the 32-yard line, maybe the 33. Stopped by Gary Davis.
Now you're the quarterback. Quarterbacks say, do not leave the ball in your own territory for the other guys to have because you can lose it right at the gun, right?
Both teams have long-range field goal kickers. Premium and Dempsey both can reach it from 50 yards, although Dempsey's had a troublesome day. 28-28. With just over 6 minutes left to play at the Orange Bowl in Miami. 1st and 10 for the Rams, and McCutcheon gets the call. McCutcheon maybe got 3, perhaps 4.
We said it a little bit earlier about Bob Greasy. The great quality I really like in his play calling is that he'll save something. And he'll save a great player like a Matt Moore or Don Nottingham late if he can use him in a particular way. And boy, that's class. That's poise.
I suppose in addition to the fact that you think about overtime, you also think about the fact that there's Bob Greasy. At one point, the Dolphins had to use one of their timeouts when they had too many men on the field. So they only have 2 left. The Rams have 3. Here's Cappelletti. Cappy. Swarmed on by Gordon. And Andrews, number 70. And it'll be 3rd down for James Harris.
Larry Gordon was the Arizona State football player that you and I saw doing that Fiesta Bowl on CBS that was ejected for fighting. And he was a #1 draft, and that may be the reason that Shula drafted him. He's tough.
He is tough. There's a final score. San Francisco 17, the New York Jets 6. New York teams this year are 0-8. Cappelletti's had a tough day. Harris has a lot of time. Oh, Jackson is wide open. Harold Jackson wide open, all alone. Barry Hill finally came over and took him down, but Jackson was all alone. How did he get so open?
Jarris White lets him go, number 41. You won't see it on this sequence. Again, there's so much time with the 3-man rush. And finally, side straddle hop, Harold Jackson gets the information. Now here you see number 44 come on to make the tackle. But actually, Jarris White, number 41, will show up in just a minute. He doesn't right then. But Jarris White was the one that sort of checked him and let him go, thinking he had deep safety help, and he didn't there.
We got 4 minutes and 5 seconds left to play. The Dolphins 28, the Rams 28. Ball is on the 10-yard line of Miami. 1st down for the Rams. Actually, it's 1st and goal, I believe. Cappelletti got no place to go. Finally worked and got 3 out of it. And Barry Hill came up to make the early hit.
Well, he did show up in a hurry, the safety man. Again, we'd like to say I don't think it was Barry Hill's fault on the long Harold Jackson pass. I believe the young cornerback thought he had deep help and didn't.
They've got to go all the way to the goal line. They can't make a 1st down without making a touchdown. The yard line marker right on the 10-yard line, the other one right on the goal line. So it's 2nd and 7. 2nd and goal at the 7. Harris gives to McCutcheon. McCutcheon is in almost as soon as he gets the football. Now we're getting down to 3 minutes left to play. Score all tied at 28-28.
3 points?
Nervous time for Tom Dempsey.
3 points with 3 minutes.
And remember, Dempsey's had a very, very hard day. He's had 2 kicks blocked. He's missed one outright.
There are no chip shots, right, field goal kicker?
Especially not when it's late in the game and the score is tied. Harris now has 436 yards passing. McCutcheon again does not get it, but he's got Dempsey right in front.
436 yards and doesn't have the football game won. It's still tied.
17 of 29 is Harris. By far his best day, and here comes Tom Dempsey. Steve Priest will hold.
Again, Dempsey always told me what I try to think about is I'm going to kick it just as hard now and as firmly as I'm trying to kick a 45-yarder. But can you tell yourself to do it that way, Patrick?
That's what you ought to be thinking, but that is very, very hard to do. Now, distance shouldn't really be a factor on this one. The hold, the center, and the strokes. And Dempsey, as the 2-minute warning comes out, is going to have a little time to think about it. And that can't be too much of a help. It's 28 apiece.
We'll welcome the folks who were watching the Denver-San Diego game, and we talked before the games today about the fine San Diego offense, but it was not operative today. We'll have more on that later.
We sure will.
Okay, what were we up to? The Washington game, okay.
Oh, we do want to go back to the Washington game. Okay, for those fans who just joined us, the Bears again beat the Washington Redskins 33-7 today. Bob Thomas had 4 field goals. Bob Avellini, the quarterback, ran for 1, threw for another. Walter Payton ran 1 in. All in all, it was a very good day for the Bears. They actually led 33-0. The Redskin touchdown was a Theismann and Jerry Smith effort long after the issue was decided. 33-7. The Bears are now 3-1.
I think Houston probably got a little more than they thought they were going to get from New Orleans today. Hank Stram is beginning to put a team together down there. He, of course, beat Kansas City last week.
And with a final minute score, he made it close against Houston. The final 31-26. For a while, it looked as if Houston might blow them out, but New Orleans came back and really tightened it up. A good ball game, that one.
Very good ball game. 57 points scored. That's only 7 more than Buffalo scored alone today. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs 50-17. Paul Wiggin doesn't think it's so funny. His Chiefs are now 0-4. For the Bills, a very good offensive show, including a good show for a man by the name of O.J. Simpson. We're 4 weeks into the season. He waited until the 4th quarter, but he finally got his first touchdown. Right here, following a Jeff Kinney block, cuts inside, and this one was late in the game. Simpson got 132 yards on the day. Again, Buffalo a winner. That score 50-17.
Now here's our Would You Believe for today. Would you believe Seattle was leading Dallas at one point 13-0? Jim Zorn had thrown 2 touchdown passes before Roger Staubach got things organized for Dallas. He then threw a couple of TD.
What a play, because everybody's looking right at you for the one miss, maybe.
Well, I think it is.
Yeah, but you kicked all yours in a snowstorm in the blizzards, right?
But I couldn't see, that's why.
There it is, boy, and I tell you, he really socked it. Let's see if he makes the signal. Dempsey usually gets Priest. Everybody gets him up.
Steve Priest, of course, indicating it was good. You saw it coming just inside the right upright, and Tom Dempsey, who just put the Rams ahead 31-28.
You know what he'll do? He'll go back to California and cook Chateaubriand something, about 9 pounds of good beef.
And eat it all himself.
Eat it all by himself.
And Don Shula, whose club has put on quite a performance this afternoon, now a little bit dejected. Now they only have 2 timeouts. Remember that. 1 minute and 56 seconds left to get the ball in range for your premium or the possibility of a victory, as Dempsey is now lined up to kick off. Foulash and Davis deep for Miami. This time he hits another knuckleball. The hop comes right to Davis. He butts down a couple, gets out to the 29-yard line. He had to get way down low for that butt.
We ought to keep in mind that your premium can bang them through from about 45 or 48 fairly strongly. So you need, what, 3 first downs, and you still have a chance to have a sudden deather.
Director Bob Daly today does an excellent job, and the producer was David Fox. Associate producer Rick Sharp.
We're not through yet.
No, sir.
If you've got the early flight, Mr. Summerall, you better call him up.
I do not. The Premium, as you think about it, will have a little bit of a wind at his back if Greasy can get him in range. Moore is split wide to the right and Twilley to the left as Greasy goes back. Twilley. Maybe a simultaneous catch. The Rams are saying they got it. Keep in mind, and Burl Choler, the official, indicating that it is an interception for Los Angeles. And that ought to do it.
Monty Jackson, who was it?
I believe it has to be Monty Jackson coming from that direction.
Here it is. Here's the pass rush, a 3-man rush. Youngblood makes Greasy step up.
It's Elmendorf and Jackson who are involved in the coverage.
And
Elmendorf got the interception.
And Elmendorf came in with sort of a sprained ankle. He didn't feel like he was going to be 100%. There he is.
There's Dave.
It's some kind of a plane flight back to Los Angeles,
Won't
the
it
city
though?
of Angels, huh?
After this comeback, Dolphins led 21-7 at one point. The Rams have the football with 1 minute and 37 seconds left. The Dolphins have only 2 timeouts left. McCutcheon goes to the outside. He doesn't want to get out of bounds. See a flag go down? I think so.
Problem is you can almost stall out the clock. What you don't want to do is lose any important players, and they're all important now. In the last minute and a half of a victory, I've seen a lot of guys glide and let up and relax and get whopped.
Penalty's going to be against the Rams. Tom Mack over talking.
Well, these Dolphins have played some kind of a defensive football game.
Except in the secondary. James Harris has had a super day.
I think that was from a lot of time, too. I think that, it's a combination of everything.
They have defensed the run extremely well. There's the indication.
But when Harold Jackson was wide open in the closing minutes of a very, very close, tied-up football game, that's hard to believe after they fought so hard.
Now, when the Dolphins need to stop the clock, is when that unnecessary timeout they had to call might cost them. They only have 2 left. A minute and 31 seconds left. The Rams have it. First and 23. The ball at their own 41. Cappelletti gets the call. Cappelletti chased. And Cappy goes down. The defensive unit against the run hasn't let up. Barry Hill and Steve Toll.
It's the first time the Rams have ever beaten the Dolphins. Am I correct in that?
That's right. The only second time they played.
You know all those stats like that, don't you? Really drive me crazy.
That's the timeout situation. As Miami just called one of theirs.
Now, the Dolphins next week have the Baltimore Colts. I would say a rather ancient rival. And there's Shula. He's not thinking about the Colts yet. And the Los Angeles Rams go against the San Francisco 49ers on a Monday evening.
Tonight, some facts about campaign contributions that might surprise you. That's one of the stories on 60 Minutes tonight with Mike Wallace, Dan Rather, and Morley Safer.
Think you'll be surprised?
How about contributions? Could be.
You owe me one. I bet you that Merlin Olsen would start his 188th consecutive game, and you said last week he wouldn't.
Well, after looking at him on the sideline last week, I thought there was no way.
All right.
Okay, what I owe you?
I'll tell you later.
All right.
There's the offensive line, and they have to share in what was one of the great passing afternoons of all time. And
sure do.
Boy, James Harris has certainly done that.
436 yards he's picked up. That's unofficial. James Harris, his biggest day as a Ram. Second down and 22. Cappelletti and Bertelsen, the running backs, and Bertelsen gets the call. A sweep, of course, to take more time. Bertelsen does not get out of bounds. Doesn't want to get out of bounds. The Dolphins may have to call another timeout right here.
Okay, I'm going to catch you on one this time.
Okay.
The all-time passing yardage by a Ram quarterback, though, is not this record of James Harris. It's 400 and some odd yards.
Got to be either Bob Waterfield or Norm Van Brocklin.
You're right. It was the Dutchman.
500 and something.
I think about 300 of it over me one day.
Was it against the Eagles? Bob Greasy. Carroll, you're priming in front of him. 42 seconds left on the game clock. The Rams 31, the Dolphins 28. It's third down. Back to Bertelsen, covering up. Bertelsen cuts back. Does not come close to the first down. And with 27 seconds left, the Dolphins use their last timeout. They'll get the ball back for one more series.
Would you ever think about putting another quarterback in to throw the last 2 or 3? I guess that would be ridiculous since your other quarterback has put you so close. Like, in this case, I'm thinking about Strock instead of Greasy, or Morrill instead of Greasy.
I would think about it, I suppose, because Greasy is supposed to have a bad finger. Didn't look like it on that touchdown pass, and that Moore. Plus, you know, he's been warm throughout the afternoon. Got to stay with him. There's Moore deep back at the 10-yard line. Rusty Jackson is the Ram punter. Number 9.
A rookie.
Think they're going to try to block it?
I think they're going to. That means he's got to get it off in less than 2 seconds. That's what they time him.
Jackson standing back at his own 38. Long count again. They tried to block it. They didn't hit him. They stayed away. Moore is going to field it at the 10. Hit down immediately. That's a long way to go with no timeouts. The clock stopped now with 17 seconds left. Good punt by Jackson.
A couple of nibble plays to the outside and then try to stretch a zone so far with speed on both ends of it that maybe you can get somebody to make a mistake.
With no timeouts left, you got to work that sideline. Bulash checking in with Greasy, who will run this first play and throw this last pass from deep in his own territory. The ball at the 10-yard line after Moore fielded that punt. A good punt by Jackson under those circumstances.
This club did quite a job, too, though, you know.
Yeah.
Nobody ever thought they could come out and run on the Los Angeles Rams. They did more than that. They put points on the scoreboard.
Benny Malone over 100 yards. Bulash a couple of strong runs. Greasy. Pass rushes on, but the protection is adequate. He fires up the middle. That's picked off. This time by Simpson, and Simpson cuts back down the sideline. Simpson to the 15, to the 10. Los Angeles football game. And the Rams will remain undefeated. We have 1 second And they stop the clock now with 2 seconds left on the scoreboard. The Rams have the one tie against Minnesota. Miami's record will drop to 2-2.
I think we'll see both of these clubs later on. I had no idea the Dolphins were this tough and physical a football team. They can play with anybody. Rams won't want to come and play them anymore.
Don Shula had his club prepared in good fashion.
He doesn't know Mr. Rosenblum very well, do you think, the owner of the Rams?
I imagine he's a casual acquaintance. Chuck Knox knows him pretty well. That's Kenny Meyer alongside Chuck. The crowd now starting to empty out. This should be all of it. And Harris just stumbles backwards. Bertelsen and Capoletti protect him. And the Los Angeles Rams have defeated the Miami Dolphins 31-28. That's the end of the game. The final score 31-28. We'll be back at the Orange Bowl in just a moment.
Sometimes the competitive instinct can lead to more than survival.